Greetings, crafters, and welcome to episode 146 of Better Than Wolves with T-Kush35. We're coming back for today's episode to work on the soul bottler that I've been talking about for the last two episodes and we've been gathering materials for. Now, if you'll forgive me, this episode is probably going to be not fraught with, but have a decent number of cuts, because I need to reference the build that I had in my other world. I have some screenshots, but, screenshots don't always do it justice. However, for this project, we are making a machine that will automatically take ground netherrack and fired urns, which we have a lovely stack here because of this machine, and we'll combine them together to give you the filtered hellfire dust and then, soul urns. So, what we're going to start with is a chest right here, which is going to be the output. And for this build, if my numbers are correct, I'm going to need one detector block, and of course I didn't count right, so we'll have to make another block dispenser. But I need 4 block dispensers, 2 pistons, 1 regular, 1 sticky, 4 hoppers, and again, I only have 3, so I'm going to have to add another one of those. I think the final one is fine to not have for now, because that's the automatic feed for the ground netherrack, so I might not have to worry about it quite yet. 1 turntable, 14 redstone repeaters, and then, a larger than necessary to count number of gearboxes, axles, redstone torches, and redstone dust, and whatnot. So we're going to be building a little bit, not backwards, but starting at the beginning here and then going from there. So let's see, we're going to have 3 hoppers to catch all of the dust coming in. This is going to be the main block where the souls will be filtered. So that's going to be our detector block right there to detect when we have an urn in front of it. And let's see, so then we have the feed, and then back here is the block dispenser that will be putting out the urns. And then here is going to be the piston that we are extending, regular piston, not a sticky piston, in order to push the urns over. So then you can load past the piston arm and go from there. So then that brings us to the back side. No, we have a little bit more that we can do in the front, and I'm just going to be moving around these candles as I need light. Hopefully with everything being made out of wood, we won't have too many problems with fire. Going to try to keep the flammable objects away from the fire, if you will. Let's see, and then lined up here is going to be a button carrying a redstone signal to actually start the machine, which we will come back to later. And it looks like I might actually have to carve out some room for some of the extra redstone logic. It could very well be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Supposedly that's correct. So then the next part is moving around. I suppose we can keep it building vertically, nothing wrong with that. So then above here, so that's temporary, this will be there permanently, and then this is pushed by a sticky piston. This is going to be where the ground netherrack comes down, and we're actually going to need that additional hopper, so gonna run back here quick to craft that. And if it's too much, I might end up cutting this, but we'll see. One of those, if you're looking for things to cut, this is one of the prime candidates. But if I'm able to move quickly enough, then it will be necessary to keep. So let's see, so I'm going to need soul sand, because that's going to be the hopper that is filtering the souls. We will need to get power to it, but we're going to worry about that in a minute or 3. But either way, the hopper with the soul sand is going to sit right here. And then a little bit farther up, I'm just going to put that there, that there, and then this. I think I can line that up because that's going to be the block dispenser that is pumping out the ground netherrack. Perfect. And then the piston that pushes it, it's going to be situated right there. And we can go back over and show it all in action, and this will all make a lot more sense later, but the general gist is this pumps out 8 ground netherrack, and then on the 8th this pushes it so that all of the hellfire dust, yeah, comes down into the chest and then resets and carries on. And that runs as long as there is an urn in front of this bad boy. So then we got to start wiring up, well, some power. So for example, this bad boy needs power, so we can bring that over. Pretty sure that's 1, 2, 3. Let me just get a gearbox going back here. Bring that power from somewhere. Gonna worry about more of the logistical part of that later. But this part for sure up here is going to need power. And if I recall correctly, this bad boy has a redstone torch on the side to invert the signal. So with that, we're going to move around to the back. Actually, I'm not sure what that screenshot is right now, which is always an exciting extravaganza. There's a wee bit of logic going on around here, so I'm going to go ahead and cut right here to go get some better screenshots. I will be back in a moment. Okay, I decided to go against the screenshot idea, and instead we're doing it live. So first of all, this is going to need power coming to it from hither, and that's just 1 block. The main power source is coming from that way, so that means this is going to be coming from down below, which means I want to rotate this so that the butt end is up. Perfect. We can power that, and then this similarly is bringing its power from down below right there. And then we will also have power to a hopper even farther up above this bad boy, and that's the... oh, I guess I needed 5 hoppers. Totally miscounted that part, so I'll have to grab another hopper here. But for now, this is the additional storage, and I'm just going to get that wired up since we're working on power up here anyway. Or mechanical power, that is. And now that has signals coming out here, and I don't remember if this was going in or not, so we'll leave that alone for now. Just focusing on getting this mechanically powered. None of these should need control quite yet, so we're going to leave that. Okay. Excellent. Now this was feeding into a block dispenser, which should be just right here. Determining, I'm not quite sure. That was probably skipping over something, but actually no, it'd be like that. Yeah, right, because that was powering that. So it'd be default on. So if I wire that up right here, perfect. Then we move that little candle, just put it right there for now. Then we had this redstone signal coming out this way. 1, 2, looks like almost instantly. No, there's got to be another block in there, right? Yeah, I think so. So that would come out this way into a redstone repeater, which is actually inputting its signal into a redstone clutch. And that is to determine, back here there is going to be a turntable that we want to be able to set on or off depending on whether or not there is an urn here. That way we don't have the noise in the background if it's not necessary. Now, if I didn't mention it before, this build I found from one of the old YouTubers that I followed. It's either I need to find his username, Rax or something of that sort, or this could be from Batase. I don't remember which one. Either way, the credit for this build does not go to me. I am not the genius behind this design. Just want to make sure that that is clear. Okay, so then this is heading this way, and that is not lined up. So this actually does have to be... I was wrong, it's got to be over here. That doesn't make sense space-wise, though. I will be back in a hot second to just straight up... Well, no, I did take one screenshot, so one moment. Sorry for the delays. Okay, yeah, there is a gap there. Oh, which means that this probably sits farther back, doesn't it? That's probably the case. That is totally the case. Man, these screenshots of mine were absolutely horrible. Yeah, that's 2. Okay, so these need to be realigned. That's a bummer. But not the end of the world. Alright, let's get those aligned back up. Let's put the shears away. Okay. So, while we're going ahead and building and not really talking too much about it, saw Endgame Tuesday night, and oh my gosh, I won't give any spoilers, because I'm definitely a fan of not having movies spoiled for me, but it was amazing. If you are a fan of the Marvel series, excuse me, had to cough there, I would highly recommend you get out there and watch it before anyone does spoil it for you. But even if it does get spoiled, I think you will still thoroughly enjoy it. Like I said, if you enjoyed the Marvel movies so far. I just really enjoyed it. And I don't, without trying to spoil anything, I just thought it was a great ending to the current series. You know, being called Endgame, can't really be too much of a spoiler. That it ends some things. Okay, anyway, moving on. Liked it a lot. Would recommend. Here we go. So this, that's the wrong spot there. This signal moves over into a pulse limiter. So, you know, gotta do the setup for that. Get myself a redstone torch, wrap it around, and then the redstone repeaters. And these are set to probably like that, it looks like. And then there's the redstone torch coming out. And that signal goes all the way around, somewhere around here. because that screenshot just goes into a corner. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 blocks or so. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then it turns. So that doesn't line up with that. So that might be where that's going, but we'll find out in a minute or 3. The next little tidbit is coming right here. We gotta bring this redstone signal through here out into this area. So redstone signal, repeater, pushing into what appears to be some area that the block dispenser is covering, or another block dispenser rather. And that signal is coming from somewhere else. So we will just set up the, oh, yet another block dispenser? Oh no, that's the one block dispenser that I pirated for up there, isn't it? Yes, probably. So I will be right back after I go build that. And I'm back, moving right along. We will get a better look at what is feeding that for signals in a minute or 3. However, for now, this comes over here. Ooh, it looks like there should actually be another gap between this and that. So I might need to move all of this over just by 1. My perspective could be off, but I don't think it is. And I'm quite certain that this spacing is correct this time. So, but we'll come back to that. Shouldn't be too much of a big deal. Actually, let's do it right now, since I am fairly certain that's what this needs. So, here and then up. Okay. So then recreating this bad boy. Tearing this up. Okay. Bringing this over, and there goes that, and that's already there, so we just wrap this around, and then there. Okay, cool. So now we're back where I think we need to be, and this goes right here into, as far as I can see, one line of redstone, and then over here is a redstone torch, keeping this on, and I will double check what that output is. Okay, and then we will need some redstone shenanigans here in order to create a difference in the redstone signal between these two. The delays I will get to setting in a hot minute, but at the current point in time, we need to wire up the turntable, which should just sit 1 block above, yeah, at setting 2, and there is at least 1 redstone torch on it. Okay, definitely going to need to make some more. This is not all of my redstone, but I think I have another half a stack. I did not have any at the villager base. I did check in between episodes. There was a theory that I had some over there. Unfortunately, that was not correct. I was hoping that there was some, because that would have been handy dandy for sure. But let's get these two sharing a mechanical signal. And I think this should be deep enough right here that I can bring it over from a source out here. So 1, 2, and there's 3. So I can bring it from out there and dig down and get over there wherever that mechanical power is right now. We'll get there in a minute. Okay, now we can take a look at the timing, because that's the next screenshot here. We have no delay here and a 2-tick delay here, which makes sense. Now, the redstone signal, whoops, which that would not transmit any of it, runs through here from this block. Ah, and is brought through by that. Okay, that makes sense. Cool. Yep, yep. And now that's extended. Default extended. Perfect. Get some stew in my belly. Running low on that. Alright, so next up, I'm looking at what appears to be yet another block dispenser that I forgot to count. So apparently my counts for all of this were they were just incomplete. Quite unfortunate, but that is what it is. Ah, yes, from above. Okay, so I'm going to go make 1 or 2 more block dispensers because we're going to need some for up here, and then I'll be right back. Okay, so I've gathered up the remainder of my redstone. We have a block detector ready and raring to go. What we are looking for at this point is how I can get up here and get this set correctly. So that's a block I'm going to need. So if you could come back, thank you. That'd be great. So we still need to hook up this logic and this logic. By logic, I mean redstone. So I'm actually going to get that, get that stuck, get me stuck. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Okay. I'm out. Let me out. And then I fall into another pit. I'm good at this. Mad skills. Okay. Getting back up top. I apologize if I'm talking a little bit too quickly. For some reason I have an uncanny amount of energy right now. And it's coming out in this. So here we go. So let's see. We've got a redstone repeater right here. Redstone line is coming here. We have the block dispenser right here. And that bad boy has a piece of redstone right on top of it. Then we've got more redstone coming from this direction. Gonna assume, yes, there is indeed a block up here in this spot that I can't get to at this precise moment because I'm kind of stuck. That transmits the redstone signal as soon as the turntable spins it over that direction, so we can get rid of that. Ouch. So that determines how often the ground netherrack is spit out. And then this will be the trigger for every every 8th one, or 9th one technically, I think. Actually, I think it's every 8. Because one of the many should transmit a redstone signal. And I had a screenshot of that a minute ago, so I'm just going to grab that back, and then we can double check. Yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yep, it's every 8th. So I need 8 blocks that won't transmit a redstone signal, and the last one will. So that'll be, I don't know, it can just be these jungle planks, and then I need 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 more sources. Usually I'd use an axle or something just because it's cheap, but in the grand scheme of things it's not nearly as cheap as different colored pieces of wood, so we're gonna go get those. So for example, yeah, we've got a corner, we have a molding, we have a siding. What did I say? I needed 5. So let's go get some of those other unique ones that I have. Another molding and a slab. Sure, why not? It's good enough. It really doesn't matter what it is. Glass I found is really noisy, so you probably want to avoid that. And I accidentally just clicked in a way that knocked my torch down. Silly me. Okay, so we're loading up the block dispenser up here, which I guess should be defaulting to out. I don't think that matters. So then fill all of these back up, and that is so every 8 it sends a pulse through here into a redstone repeater. Now, if I have the correct logic, that redstone repeater... wait. Where is that? Oh, okay. It goes into a pulse limiter again. Okay. That's fine and dandy. We can build one of those. Right? Right. And yeah, this is where I actually didn't properly count all of the space I would need. Luckily, that's not going to matter because I can just dig more. I am going to run out of planks of that color. Yeah, no delay here. And then this wraps around. And in fact, we go boop, boop into redstone signal, which goes up. Yeah, that looks like it should be right. And I'm pretty sure it's just going to mosey on over to that redstone piston. I don't know what that screenshot is. I don't know what that screenshot is. Oh, yes I do. So this is here. That's what that's looking at. Okay, so we're going to jump down here temporarily and just run the redstone line over here, because that's what fires this off when we are putting in our first trigger. Okay, yeah, definitely running out of jungle wood planks. Let's turn some of the siding into it. I need to go chop down some more jungle forest trees. Let's see, yeah, that screenshot is not so good, neither's that one. I think I need to go into my other world and double check what those screenshots are. So, I shall return momentarily. Okay, so while it's still fresh in my mind, this comes from around here. And what it was doing was bringing a redstone signal up from down here. So it was a redstone repeater because we wanted that signal to be one direction and not transmit back down. So we'll just turn this into a bunch of wood. Perfect. So the signal's coming up from there. And then the redstone signal comes along here into this block here. Okay, good to go. So then this is not heading this way. It actually wraps all the way around and heads over here to send the signal up here. So we're going to have to get this out of here, and that definitely needs to not be so close. At least the 2-block rule is what I'm going after. Because if all this goes up in flames, I will cry quite a bit. And very animatedly. Alright, so I need some more wood. Use the rest of my jungle sidings. I did have some wood being cut during one of my off-camera cuts, so hopefully that will work. So this continues this way, and actually I'm just going to grab these quickly. I'm not sure why I left them. Oh, it just keeps going. It seriously just keeps going. Okay. That's exciting. Yes, carry on. Just don't mind me filling the floor in. Okay, back at it. And this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So I have to imagine that this was repeated because of concerns with the length of the wire, so that's that. Okay, so if I am correct, that should do it for the redstone logic for this. Now we just need some mechanical power, and then we can actually test it. So that's exciting. So let's see about getting some of that mechanical power. If I recall, I did some crazy fill-in shenanigans. And I think the stairs are somewhere down here. So instead of making it super awkward for up above, we're just going to do this. I'm going to get our power from down below. And I'm going to dig my way over this way. Okay, excellent. Now I filled all this in on purpose. But where can I get my redstone, or my mechanical power from? Ah, of course I wouldn't have made it easy on myself. Means I'm actually going to have to go around all of this stuff. Fun. Yeah, so I need to go 1, 2, 3, at least 4 blocks it looks like. 1, 2, 3, probably just go the max distance. So we're bringing power this way now. So we'll have to do some looping around. This will work out fine. It shouldn't be anywhere close to being flammable. 1, 2, 3. Block. And I do want to get this lined up. So let's go. That's going to be awkward. I'm going to have to do some shenanigans to do that. But let's go ahead and actually just go this way. To avoid that situation entirely. Okay. So that will hopefully be a good junction point. Just dig this way a moment or two. Light the subject. Oh no, that's wood right there. We don't want to set that on fire. Oh, I also don't want to put myself in the gloom. Okay, cool. That was a pretty accurate estimate on my part. Just pat myself on the back there. It's pretty nice. All right, so I need to get this up to. You need to get on my level. So we gotta go down extra, right? Yeah. It sucks to have to do stuff like this, but what are you gonna do? Okay, and then we come up 1, and then we're in line with the height that we need. 3, and that is unfortunate slightly. It's just really good that these gearboxes are so much cheaper than they were, and that is very dark. I would like to put a torch right there, thank you. And I don't have any good way of, I guess there was a candle. Oh. Yeah, that's not going to last long, is it? I don't think anything should be able to spawn here. There's not enough room. But I guess I can do that. The biggest concern at this very instant is gloom. He says as he caused some gloom to come about. 1, 2, 3. Power. 1, 2, 3. Power. Or gearbox, what have you. And that hopefully transmitted signal as far as it needed to go. And I can't put one right there, but these should be unaffected by any of those shenanigans. Just block this off just a little bit, and now let's go check that there is, in fact, mechanical power over here. It looks like there is. Excellent. Alright. Coming right along. This is going faster than I could have hoped. Okay, so this just needs power. And let's see. I need power to this hopper. Or maybe I never had power. It's possible that I actually never had power to that hopper in the other build. I could probably work on it at some point for this one, but it's not 100% necessary. Now let's see. This is actually facing the wrong way. Drat. Okay. Let's get a block there. And it is connected somewhere else. Where is it connected? It is connected on that side. Wonderful. Oh, I should have had it face... Yeah, it needed to face down, and for some reason I didn't have it facing down. There. Just didn't. I hit it one too few times. One too few times. How's that for brain teasing? Okay, excellent. Now that's powered. So then, hook that up, and now the turntable. Oh, the turntable is doubly powered. Oh my gosh. Did not need that in the slightest. Wonderful. Okay. So then I can get some power going on here. Oh, right. That's why I didn't do that quite yet. Because I wanted to be able to turn it. Power and power. So now both of these hoppers should have power. Yep. Okay. So the only thing here is we don't have all of the avenues of escape for the ground netherrack, which would be glass. So let's go ahead and go grab some of that so that we can put a cap on that, and then we can actually test it. So over here should be a decent amount of glass. Yep, excellent. And then I temporarily stored my ground netherrack down here. And yeah, it sounds like the wood is definitely done chopping, so let's grab the wooden planks for whatever we might need it. And then we get to the testing phase right after we cover this in glass. Which it looks like I might have done panes at some point. Oh yeah, I do need to check that one block dispenser to be sure that it's only the one output. Oh, and I also need a button. Yeah. I do need a button. So this should be just like this to cover all of that. And then in the other build I used stone bricks because I really like the look of stone bricks, but that would take a lot of resources here. So this should cap it all off. And now I just need a button. And I'm also going to eventually need a stairway to put this in there. For now, I'll just leave it to the hopping. Okay, cool. And the point of that redstone repeater way up there is to detect when that hopper is full, because in the other build I had a couple millstones running levels up, and then it would turn them off, because I could load up all my millstones and just have a big old stock of that stuff ready to go. So I need to grab a button. Perfect. I have a whole bunch from that decorations still. And then we need some urns. And I think there was one in here as well, so I might as well grab that. Awesome. Now, there's always going to be one stuck in the machine, just by design sort of thing. So that's not the end of the world. But in order to have a proper test, I'm going to need at least, we'll say two urns here. So that is all loaded up. The button is placed. And before we go ahead and do the official test, I'm going to pop into my other world one last time to double check that hopefully I'm not missing anything. Okay, it's looking like we are ready for the final test. There are 2 more adjustments that need to be made. One is this needs another redstone torch right there. Oh, and that accidentally fired our first ground netherrack, so we're going to be a little off kilter as far as that goes. But that's fine. Life goes on. And the other is I wanted to get this hopper right here for catching of the... what actually ends up is that the urn can jump over here, since the soul urn can. Since the regular urn won't prevent its hitbox is smaller than this full block. So when it turns into a soul urn, it can pop over here, and we want to catch those. So I guess without further ado, let's go ahead and hit the button. Right, gotta hit the button again. Alright, here we go. So here we go. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. And that's it. So there's your working machine, ready and raring to go to bottle a whole bunch of souls. And as you can see, we already had that singleton soul urn issue happen over here. And this normally would be 16, but I had the one misfire because I added the extra. I put the redstone torch there. But that's it. That's the soul bottling machine. Again, not my design, but a wonderful design. Great for, you know, input urns and ground netherrack and get out a bunch of soul urns. So I'm going to have the extreme pleasure of loading this bad boy up and putting all of these sweet, sweet urns in there and just being able to sit back and wait for it to complete. Next step will be to add a grinding portion to it, but I think that's going to wait for the rebuild in a larger building, because as it stands, that would, if I were to try to expand above, that would take me above ground, and that would be kind of an eyesore, and I already have enough issues with the ground netherrack sounding horrible here, so I probably want to put it somewhere farther away from where I'm sitting every day. But that is going to do it for this episode. Thanks for tuning in, and I'll see you next time.